What if everything you believed about your health was only part of the truth? And what if the future you fear is not as certain as it seems? Many people hear the words chronic kidney disease and immediately feel a quiet sense of defeat, as if time has already decided the outcome, as if the body has begun a journey that cannot be slowed, changed, or redirected. But what if that belief itself is the very thing that holds you back from discovering a different path forward? The truth is, your body is not simply a machine that breaks without warning. It is a living system that responds, adapts, and even heals when given the right environment, the right care, and the right attention. And this is where a powerful shift begins, because the moment you realize that progression is not always inevitable, you step into a space of possibility rather than fear. People often overlook the quiet signals their bodies send every day, the small whispers before the louder alarms. And in the case of kidney health, those whispers matter more than you think, because early awareness is not just helpful, it is transformational. There is a growing understanding, supported by medical insight and experience, that the trajectory of chronic conditions can be influenced, and sometimes dramatically altered, by consistent, intentional actions. And it is in this space that the teachings inspired by Dr. Mathew R. Weir begin to resonate deeply, because he emphasizes not fear, but responsibility, not hopelessness, but awareness. Imagine for a moment that your daily choices are not small or insignificant, but instead are powerful signals that shape your internal world. Every meal, every habit, every moment of movement or stillness, sending instructions to your body about how to function, how to respond, and how to protect itself. And when you begin to see your life through this lens, something changes, because you are no longer a passive observer of your health. You become an active participant in its direction. Many people delay action because they believe they have time, or because they feel overwhelmed by the idea of change. But the reality is that the earlier you act, the greater your ability to influence the outcome. And this is not about perfection. It is about consistency, about choosing, again and again, to support your body rather than ignore it. There is a quiet power in small steps taken daily, in choosing water over sugar-filled drinks, in paying attention to blood pressure, in understanding how conditions like diabetes interact with kidney health. And while these actions may seem simple, their impact over time is profound. Yet, despite all of this, there is still a lingering doubt that many people carry, a question that sits in the back of their mind, asking whether any of this truly makes a difference. And it is this doubt that often becomes the greatest barrier, not the condition itself, but the belief that nothing can change it. But what if that belief is wrong? What if the story you've been told is incomplete? And what if there is more within your control than you have ever realized? This is where the journey truly begins, not with a diagnosis, but with a decision to question assumptions, to seek understanding, and to take ownership of the path ahead. Because the moment you do, you shift from reacting to your condition to actively shaping your future. And that is where real change starts to unfold. But what happens when you begin to realize that the greatest danger is not the condition itself, but the silent patterns that continue unnoticed, shaping your health day after day without resistance? There is a moment, often overlooked, when awareness turns into responsibility. And responsibility can feel heavy, because it asks you to confront the habits you once ignored, the choices you postponed, and the signals your body has been sending for far too long. And this is where many people hesitate, not because they lack strength, but because they suddenly see how much power they truly have. And with that power comes the weight of action. Chronic kidney disease does not usually announce its progression with dramatic urgency at first. It moves quietly, gradually, almost patiently. And this subtle nature is what makes it so dangerous. Because while you feel normal, while life continues as usual, changes are happening beneath the surface. And by the time symptoms become obvious, the condition may have already advanced further than expected. This is the suspense that many never consider. The idea that what you cannot feel can still affect you deeply, and it creates a hidden tension, a question that lingers beneath every routine moment, asking whether enough is being done to protect what cannot be seen. It is often highlighted through teachings inspired by Dr. Mathew R. Weir that awareness alone is not enough, because knowledge without action is like having a map, but never choosing to move. And the real transformation begins when understanding becomes behavior, when intention becomes consistency, and when small efforts become daily commitments. Think about the routines you follow without thought, the foods you reach for out of habit, the moments you choose convenience over care, and consider how these patterns, repeated over weeks, months, and years, quietly shape your internal health, not in dramatic bursts, but in steady, accumulating effects that either support or strain your kidneys. There is a powerful truth hidden here, and it is not meant to create fear, but to awaken clarity. Because once you see how influence works over time, you can no longer ignore the role you play in your own well-being. And this realization can be both unsettling and empowering at the same time. Many people wait for a turning point, a moment so significant that it forces change. But what if that moment has already arrived, not as a crisis, but as an opportunity disguised as awareness, an invitation to act before urgency demands it? The suspense lies in the unknown future, in the possibility that continuing on the same path could lead to outcomes you wish to avoid, but also in the possibility that changing direction now could lead to a future you once thought impossible. A future where your condition is managed, slowed, and perhaps stabilized in ways you did not expect. The question then becomes not whether change is possible, but whether you are willing to embrace it, to move beyond hesitation and into deliberate action, to replace uncertainty with intention, and to understand that every choice you make carries weight, even when the results are not immediately visible. This is not about fear. It is about awakening to the quiet truth that your daily life is shaping your long-term health, and that within the ordinary moments of your routine lies the extraordinary power to influence what comes next. And once you truly see this, the way you approach your health can never be the same again. And when you finally reach that point of clarity, something remarkable begins to happen, because the fear that once felt overwhelming slowly transforms into focus, and the uncertainty that once held you back becomes a quiet determination to move forward with purpose, one step at a time, knowing that progress is not built on perfection, but on persistence. You begin to understand that protecting your kidneys is not a single decision, but a series of choices made daily. Choices that may seem small in the moment, but carry extraordinary weight over time. And this is where real empowerment begins, because you no longer wait for change. You create it through your actions. The ideas often shared in the spirit of Dr. Mathew R. Weir remind us that the body responds to care with resilience, and that even in the presence of chronic conditions, there is always room for improvement, always a chance to slow what once seemed unstoppable. And this understanding becomes a source of strength rather than doubt. You start to notice how awareness reshapes your behavior, how you pay closer attention to what you eat, how you become more mindful of your blood pressure, how you begin to see medical guidance not as a burden, but as a powerful tool that supports your long-term well-being. And in these moments you realize that you are no longer reacting to your condition. You are actively managing it with intention and clarity. There is a quiet confidence that grows within you when you take control of what you can influence, a confidence that does not rely on instant results, but on the knowledge that consistent effort leads to meaningful change. And this confidence becomes the foundation of your journey forward. You may not see immediate transformation, and there may still be challenges along the way, but what matters is that you are no longer standing still. You are moving in the right direction, guided by awareness, supported by knowledge, and strengthened by your own commitment to your health. Over time, these efforts begin to shape a different future, one where your condition does not define you, but instead becomes something you manage with discipline and understanding. And this shift in mindset is just as important as any medical strategy, because it influences how you approach every decision, every habit, and every moment of care. The journey is not about eliminating difficulty, but about learning how to navigate it with strength, patience, and purpose. And when you embrace this perspective, you unlock a level of resilience that you may not have known you possessed. So as you move forward from this moment, remember that your actions matter, your choices matter, and your willingness to act early and consistently can make a lasting difference in your life. Because the future of your health is not written in a single moment. It is shaped over time, by the decisions you make every day. If you're benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.